wondrous things that can be done with wax cake. Wait till I introduce you to Incredible Workable Wax.
If you'd like to join us, you can learn about all the beautiful things that you can do with wax in addition to making candles. Joining me today as our expert on wax is Sallie Strauss from Activa. Welcome back to Crafting for the 90s, Sallie.
It's wonderful to be here with you, Kate.
Now, this is a wonderful thing. We're going to use this wax by just working with water?
Yes. This workable wax is never in a liquid state.
You never melt it down.
You never melt it, so you don't worry about damage to carpets or furniture. It just softens and becomes malleable in warm water. About 110 degrees is ideal. And remember, if it's too hot for your hands, it's too hot for the wax.
Okay, let's look a little bit here. We're talking about actual sheets of wax in beautiful
sheets and
colors.
brilliant colors that you can sculpt and mold. You can accent pillow candles, you know, an already standard candle. You can enhance it, as we have with the mistletoe and the hearts. And then the traditional taper over here, we have added some flowers and leaves.
So on each of the candles, the stack candles and the tall taper, the candle is just a purchased candle.
It is a purchased candle, and you have enhanced it by workable wax.
Okay, let's see how to do this.
All right. I enjoy doing flowers, and I'd like to show you how to do an iris. One thing, when you take it out of its water bath, blot it off.
Okay.
And we'll cut it. And then you just begin pulling it. And you see it's not breaking apart. It's becoming very, very translucent.
And because it's soft from the water.
Because it's soft from the water and warm from the water, you are able to sculpt and mold with it.
Now, while you're shaping that, we'll take a look at the petal right here in front of us.
The petal, and this will be a purple iris, and you see that's one of the initial petals. And the fun thing is just working with it in your hands. It really almost shapes itself.
And I imagine it stays warm enough
it does.
To shape.
It is, as long as it is in your hands, the heat of your hands will keep it malleable.
And if you should have to soften it again, you can
just
slip
put
it in the
back
water.
in the water, and you can re-soften it. Here is one petal. Obviously, you're going to do this in steps and then put it together, and we have a wonderful sticky wax that we will glue the whole flower together with.
So when you're putting different petals together like this,
yes.
The way that you attach one to the other,
yes,
is the
you
sticky
do.
wax?
You do individual petals one at a time, and then when you have completed those, you are going to attach them with the sticky wax.
And that same method would be used not only for the iris, but the other flowers that we have on the table?
Yes, the tulips and the roses, and this makes, you can pull it out, and you see it makes wonderful little floating votive candles. If you want to do a floral arrangement, and then float candles, or float the flowers in it. You don't necessarily have to light them.
Just let them be there for decoration?
Yeah, just let them be there for decoration.
Now, when the petals are spread out nice and thin like that, or like on that large yellow flower there, is it going to stay that way, or are they very, very fragile?
They are fragile. You obviously should keep them from direct sunlight.
Okay.
But they will, the wax, once it's taken out of the water and away from your hands, is going to harden, and it's going to be the hardness of the sheets of wax that we looked at. But see, here's the starting of the iris.
We can already see it taking shape.
It's taking shape.
Now, there are many other ways that you can work with the wax, and you have some examples over here of wax that looks almost flat. Now, how have you done the shapes for those? Those,
you have softened your wax, and then you have used a cookie cutter.
Want to put it on there?
Let's do a piece of yellow here, and we'll just Let's do a little fluted moon. Can you see how easy it is? And it pops right out.
Out. Now you used the moon on our little tiny birthday candle.
I did. I thought that is a star of the day. And that's moon and stars, and they are the birthday candles. And you could use that to trim a child's birthday cake.
Absolutely, darling.
And it's a great product for favors, for parties. This is a little favor, a holiday favor. You could put a place card in there.
Right. I'm kind of partial to this little candle standing right there by you, the little stacked one with all
That
the
little
colors.
stacked candle was quite easily done. You have a nice fluted cutter, and you soften an entire sheet of wax, and then you just cut it out and stack them up. And because they're warm, you don't have to use the sticky wax. They will just seal. And
as they cool.
Yes, as they cool.
Fasten together.
And this is called a wicking rod, and when you finish and it's still warm, you will want to take a piece of candle wicking, measure the length, cut it, and with this rod you push it down through the center.
Okay, it'll still be soft enough?
Yes, it's going to be soft enough. Another way that you can work with this and make an actual candle is you can take 3 colors, soften them, braid them together.
Now that's
and you
darling.
braid it, and then you take the ends of the braids and turn them to the inside, put your wicking rod in, and voila, there's your candle.
That is really darling. Now, in addition to doing that, you can also use molds.
You can use molds, and you can use a mold like this, which we have done here with corn. This obviously is a pear. This would be, if you put the wax in the mold this way, you get a positive form.
Right.
And then you could attach that to a plaque or some wall decor.
Right.
And you might also want to use this to make a mold for something, to take an impression, because in one form of art there's something called the lost wax method. And you could then take this mold and put the wax on top, and this is the impression you get. You're going to get a negative impression.
So
this is called a positive, this is a negative.
So both sides of the mold
Both
are
sides
useful.
of the mold are useful with this wonderful soft wax.
It's really nice to work with. I'd like to see you continue on that flower a little bit.
All right,
Sarah.
let's work with the iris here.
Now, do you mix colors in the flowers sometimes too?
You can. If you'll see the blue iris over there, I did put some yellow, you know, as you would
Right.
see in a natural iris.
The addition of the color
Yeah,
there.
the addition of the color.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the beautiful little bouquet that we have, the little cluster. Now, is it difficult to shape it in round in a circle like that?
No, it is not at all. It's not difficult at all. Let me get this other little petal here, so we're gonna, there.
And that forms our 3 petals.
That forms the 3 petals, and then obviously to finish it, you form 3 more smaller petals and put them on top.
And that would complete our
Yes,
iris.
and that would complete the iris. And if you want to see, let's take a piece of this and wipe it off.
Oh,
You see how easily it cuts?
I certainly
It's just
do.
like
And you
butter.
could just simply roll that into the shape that you want.
You can roll it into the shape that you want, and we'll just flatten it a little bit.
Sally, that's a wonderful idea. The projects are easy. I'm sure everyone can work with them. And it's a wonderful new way to add wax to your crafting so that you can mold and sculpt with workable wax.
Learn a new quick